Hi students, it's Dr. Stovall and I wanted to give you a quick overview of week 4. So, during this week, you are going to be introduced to the prompt for Essay 2, which will be due in 3 weeks, and you will continue to do some of the assignments that you've already had practice working on, such as your reading response, identifying the correct main point, and working on your research paper. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to see in this module will be your reading selections. I strongly encourage you to print out your reading selections so that you can make marginal notes. Now I'm going to say when you print these out, it is going to be an advantage to you to print them because as you can see with this one, it has very small print. And so by printing it out, it gives you just a little room right here to write notes. And this first reading selection is 25 pages long. So you really want to give yourself some time to complete the reading, okay? And so I have moved the first discussion to Wednesday to give you 2 days to complete this reading assignment. The second reading assignment is a very difficult reading assignment, not that the words are difficult, but because it requires you to read slowly. And this reading assignment is called Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and it is by Paulo Freire, okay? And so as you're reading this reading assignment, I want you to take copious notes, close notes. Write things down. If you have questions while you're reading, please send me an email. I would be happy to discuss Pedagogy of the Oppressed with you, okay? It is very important that you read this and give yourself some time to understand. It is only 9 pages long, but that's a lot of information in those 9 pages. So give yourself time to read it, to make notes. If you're not going to print it out, well, then make notes in your notebook. And the last reading selection, from degrading to degrading, okay? So once again, this is from Alfie Kohn. I want you to take your time, read it slowly, and get an idea of what it is that the author wants you to know about grading students' work. Okay? So some of you will ask, Dr. Stovall, how do we identify the correct main point? Well, I'll be honest with you. The identification of the main point is going to be the same for everyone. It is really what it is that the author wants you to know about the topic. Identify the topic and ask yourself, what is the author saying about this topic? Okay? And the way that you figure that out is you look at your annotations and you ask yourself, what was stated in this paragraph? What was stated in the next paragraph? How does this information relate to the previous paragraph? And when you look back at your notes, you should see a pattern in terms of, is this a definition of something? Is this an example of something? And this will tell you what it is the author is talking about, and you will be able to ascertain what it is that the author wants you to know about this particular topic. Once again, if you have questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to help you with that. All right, let's move on to the next page. All right, so this is the reading assignment or the discussion item that I was talking about that's due on Wednesday. And what you'll need to do is identify the correct main point for Rat Pack by Lauren Slater. So in this reading assignment, I need you to tell me what it is that Slater wants you to know about the main point. Now, for those of you who have already read it, maybe in another class, you're way ahead of the game. But for those of you who are reading it for the first time, it is a very interesting article. It starts slow, but it goes fast once you start reading it, okay? Don't skip any parts. Don't skim. Take notes as you're reading. And believe me, you want to read it all the way to the end, because if you stop, you're going to miss the important information. Once you complete reading it, you want to go back and you want to identify the main point in the first sentence. Now remember, the first sentence is going to have the author's name, the title, and the main point. And that second sentence is going to have a direct quotation that validates what you chose as the main point, along with commentary and a parenthetical citation. And if you want to see what that looks like, I always provide that for you. And here is the example at the bottom of the assignment. Okay, so both sentences are written in the format that I would like for you to utilize. There were some questions this past week as to whether or not this is a required assignment. And as I have stated from the beginning of the course, all assignments with a date and points are required. In addition to the required assignment, there is also an opportunity for you to earn extra credit points. So you want to take advantage of anything that says extra credit, okay? So if you pick the correct or identify the correct main point, then I give you an additional 5 points, okay? So it is to your advantage to take your time and identify the correct main point. Let's say you complete it and you don't have the correct main point. I still give you 5 points for attempting the 2 sentences, but you got to have 2 sentences in order to get the main point, or to get the 5 points, I should say. All right, the next page. It's the prompt for Essay 2. Okay, so for Essay 2, you're going to use these 2 reading assignments, and I believe you've had both of them thus far. And here is the prompt that you are investigating. How do people use beliefs to justify how they interact with family members? So now I want you to go back and look at your annotations and ask yourself, how did family members interact with one another based on what they believe? And what did their actions consist of based on these beliefs? Okay? And so what you are in essence doing is you are answering this question directly. How do people use beliefs to justify how they interact with family members? Your thesis statement should be a direct question or a direct statement to that prompt question. Okay? So each one of your topic sentences will be one way in which people justify their interactions with their family members. Okay? So you're making a general statement in your topic sentence, and then you're using the interaction in the article as your example in sentence 3. For those of you who have seen the outline for body paragraphs, where you have that first sentence, which is your topic sentence. Sentence 2 explains your topic sentence. Sentence 3 is your support. That means you have a direct quotation from the reading, short direct quotation from the reading, along with commentary, and a parenthetical citation before the period where I can find that direct quotation, and that directly supports the claim made in the topic sentence. Sentence number 4 tells me how I can connect that direct quotation to my topic sentence, and then sentence 5 through 8 or 9, depending on how long you want to make your analysis, is further explaining your topic sentence using your own words. I don't want anything from the article in the analysis. And for those of you who are wondering, well, where are you getting this outline? I want you to go back to week 2, where I have the outline for body paragraphs, okay? And if you need more help with that, please send me an email. All right. And then there's more information about what I need you to do in this particular essay. There will be 8 paragraphs. You'll have an intro paragraph that will have 8 sentences, and then you will have 6 body paragraphs that will have 8 or 9 sentences, and then 1 concluding paragraph that will have 3 sentences. So let me back up and go back to these body paragraphs. You're asking yourself probably, well, how many examples do I need to have from each of the readings? Because you have 2 readings that you must use. I'm going to be honest. I need you to have at least 1 example from each of the reading, which means you could have 1 from West and then 5 from Duhigg, or you can have 5 from West and 1 from Duhigg. It's up to you in terms of what you have in your annotations. All right, and this essay is going to be due on the due date right here. Okay, so you want to make sure that you recognize that this paper is going to be due by Sunday 7/20, which is July 20th, by 11:59 p.m. Okay, this essay also requires a works cited page. So I do have a brief video for you to watch. Well, it's not that brief. I think it's 24 minutes, but you know, it depends how much time you have, whether or not you watch all of it. And then I've also given you MLA format for the works cited page. So for those of you who can use an outline to follow for the works cited page, you have this here. And for those of you who need more direct information, I have a video that will show you how to do it step by step. Okay, let's move on to the next page. And I am just giving you more information on the research paper. The research paper is due week 10. The prompt for the research paper: what are the issues surrounding for-profit education? That is our overarching question. That's our prompt question for the prompt for this research paper. I keep saying prompt. It's Sunday, I'm tired. Okay, so how many pages do you have to have? So I want you to read this. There are 4 articles, okay? 4 articles that you have to read, and they're at the bottom of this page. And for this particular paper, I'm asking you to write, and I've shortened this paper considerably. And the reason I did that is because I really wanted you to be able to do really well on this paper. So the entire paper is a 6-page paper, okay? So you just have to make sure that from page 1 that you set it up properly, 1-inch margins. You start at the top of the page and you go all the way to the end of page 6, and then your works cited page starts on page 7. You can certainly have a paper that's longer than 6 pages. You just can't be shorter than 6 pages. Okay? And this paper is going to be due on August 15th by 11:59 p.m. Okay? All right, and these are the 4 articles that you're going to use. If you have questions, by all means, send me an email. And I found 2 videos that I think would be very, very important for you to watch: Fail State and The Real Cost, which are about for-profit education. I'm getting it out. Okay. And the last 2 pages, the reading response for this week. You have 3 articles that you're utilizing, and I'm giving you an example of paragraph 1, 1, 2, 3. The 3 colors correspond to how you would set up paragraph 1. And as you can see, paragraph 2 is going to be exactly the same. It should be double spaced. However, in Canvas, it does not allow you to double space. So what I did in the help page, you can see a double spaced one. Okay? And those are the readings for the reading response. Oh, 5 seconds. Have a great week. Bye-bye.